First attempt at a flipped lesson. Here we go. Today we're looking at solving geometric problems using all the laws we've learned. Our C, Z, and our F. So the first shape we're going to look at is a triangle on top of a triangle, almost like an hourglass. And there's our parallel lines, a 60 and a 40, and our W, X, Y, and Z. We always start with what is given. So looking at this, we see our 60, our 40, and our parallel lines. The other given we can look at is that we have two triangles, and we know that the sum of the angles is always 180. So two triangles, one sitting on top of the other. Next thing we're going to do, we know that 60 and 40 is 100, and 180 minus 100 is 80. Therefore, our third angle within that triangle has to be 80. But now we also see something else. There's an X here. That means that there's opposite angles. Therefore, the 80 has to be opposite to the other X. The other technique that we employ in class is we extend our lines. These are parallel lines. They can go on infinitely, so we just extend it, and that helps us to see things like a Z. There's an enormous Z here. This is our internal angle. The 60 at the very top is between the parallel lines on one side of the transversal. That means that the little Z has to be 60. It's on the other side. The second thing is our supplementary law. If we have a 60, then the other side has to be 120 because they add up to 180. Now we've got a triangle again. 60 and 80 is 140, and what's left over is a 40. And if we look at the pattern again, we can actually see there's a huge Z, and we can confirm that the 40 is correct. The second question we're going to look at is a slightly different one. It's sort of a triangle within a triangle, so a very large triangle and a smaller triangle within it. So right away we're thinking 180 because we've got triangles. We've got our parallel lines, and we have two angles of the triangle. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find that third angle of the triangle. Again, you can see the large triangle and then the smaller one within it. So let's go with the X. We know that 60 plus 70 is 130, and 180 minus 130 is 50. Therefore, that X is 50 degrees. Now we have some supplementary rules. If it's 50 on one side, it has to be 130 on the other. How does this help us? Well, we've got the C, our interior laws. If it's 130 on one side, it has to be 50 because they have to add up to 180. And again, we extend our lines, we can check, we can actually see corresponding laws and it applies. Next thing, we've got a 70 on the left, and we know that by supplementary laws, 180 minus 70, we've got 110 left over. Finally, we have the big triangle. We have a 60 at the top, a 50 at the bottom. Therefore, 60 plus 50, 110. The remaining must be 70 degrees. And as Azar always says, we can check our answer. Here's interior angles, 110 plus 70. It does equal 180. And then we also got corresponding. Booyah!